Welcome to Handson with Jota. So today we're going to take a look into Skaffold. We're going to use a very simple application that we already had from the last time that we talked in regards to a Docker file, has a deployment, has an index.js. This is coming already with Express. So if you see the Docker file, it's pretty much straightforward. It's just making a node alpine 12 and then it's making a working app and then just copy from one to another, install and start. If we go to the index.js, we have here that we're getting an Express application that comes with the middleware and comes with a hello world, pretty much straightforward, right? And for the package JSON, what we have is we're going to start with the nodemon, and we are going to go for Express and as a dependency, and dev dependency is going to be nodemon. So this is what we have right now. The idea is that Skaffold is going to help us to work with all of the different artifacts from, well, many of the different artifacts that comes with minikube. So the idea is the following: you're going to be able to make different changes and try to integrate some of these different changes into a continuous development that Skaffold is going to allow you to use. So if we go here and say Skaffold init, this is going to try to initialize a file and see there is already a file that it was created with this structure. So you see that here you have a build, and then you have the artifacts that you're going to be building. In this case, it's going to be an example image. And then you're going to have here deployment, and this deployment is going to be in a kubectl, and it's going to be working with a certain manifest. This manifest is going to be the deployment that we already have in this folder. So it says, okay, if I say here Skaffold dev, for example, I think I have also, yes, I already have this open. So this is the way it looks, this index.js. Let's say Skaffold dev. So you see what's happening in the first time is that it does not find the image. So as it did not find the image, it's going to try to build it. And the reason for that is because here we have the deployment, right? And the deployment is working with a certain application that comes with the name example. Here is the image example. So this is pretty important because this is going to be matching straightforward with the image that comes here. So whenever you try to go for a certain image that comes from the deployment, then this is going to be matching with the same image that comes here. Other thing to take into account is that this is going to be working with the manifest that comes from this deployment, right? So you can have more than this manifest. You can have, for example, a service, you can have secrets and whatever you want to. So here's already listening to the port 3000. If I come here, let's say that I come here, and I say kubectl get pods. You see that there is I have some other things up and running out there because I was working some other things, but this is the example of the deployment, and we can see that it did not restart or anything. This is just running. We can even say kubectl logs. You can see that there is running in the port 3000. Let's get the services. There are some things that are running that were from before, but there is nothing in relation to that guy. So let's see deployments. And there is a deployment of the example deployment. So as you can see, this is coming from here, example deployment, right? So what happens now is that we need to say expose, and we're going to make it expose of an example deployment. Then we're going to say, okay, kubectl get services. And we see that there is now the deployment of this guy, and we make the deployment as a type node port. So now we're going to say minikube service. I want to get just a URL. We can actually infer that from the minikube IP and this guy. So here it is. Let's see that we go here, and there is the hello world. So now we go here, and we see that there is a printing here. But let's say for a minute that we change something here. Hello Juan. So this is going to be doing the build of everything. The reason for that is because I did not do a manual. I did not do a proper sync of this folder structure with what we are looking here. You can say, for example, manual. Here you can say sync manual, and you can have everything that you need there. So here now it says hello Juan. This can be a bit faster if you actually work a little bit also in regards to the Docker file. For example, if you go, my recommendation is always take a look not only what I'm doing right now, but actually take a look into the project of Skaffold itself. This is a very good starting point. From Skaffold you have examples, and in the examples of Skaffold you have the nodejs example. So here you can see that there is a sync and there is a manual sync. So this is going to be only updating the Docker, only updating Docker image in that particular, the Docker container in that particular point, and that's super nice. This is very important also the Destiny, because basically everything that you're going to be working in regards to this source and what you're going to be listening to here is going to be reflected into this location. So if you see that things are not getting into sync, take a look into the Destiny. Maybe it is being writing in a different location that you are expecting for. So then in regards to this guy also, there is a small change that you can see from them. Like for example, the Docker file, you have here some more kind of stuff. It is kind of actually from some point of view is more correct than mine. I just make it from an example that I have before, the Docker file that I have now, and that's making the whole reload of everything. But here, what's happening here is that this guy is running the npm run here with certain node env, and what happens here is that he's using npm CI. So changes, right? so that's it for today. I hope that you enjoyed the video today. If you give it a try to do this Skaffold, basically it is running with a pipeline. It is reloading the things that you need. It has a lot of different examples, and you see this is the pipeline they have here. It is actually pretty cool stuff, because what's the offering of a Skaffold from my point of view, which is very rich, is that you can, from this example that you see here, you can have a deploy and you have the build of the artifacts that you need, and you're going to be able to define those things from the cluster that you have currently in develop. So you can say how much of the cluster you want, which are the artifacts that you want to test. Some of them you want to integrate. So here in the pipeline you have a test. So you have the chance to test some of the different artifacts that you have there inside of the pipeline of Skaffold. And you also have tags here, which is pretty nice. Because of the following, I think that at some point, I did not try it out this one, but I believe that if you have the chance in regards to play around with Skaffold a little bit, you're going to be able to work with with the tag that's going to be for the build of, for example, a Docker file with a multi-stage in production, and then you're going to be able to just have the build of production for certain nodes, and some of the other nodes are going to be just in the develop environment, right? So in regards to that, for example, if you have some points of your clusters that are in need for you, but you don't want them to be in development environment as a development, you just want them to be in a production mode with a minified code, with a very small amount of information as a image, then you're going to be able to do so. And that's my image from this tagging of these artifacts, and then having the deployment of these manifests with these artifacts, right? So whenever you work in regards to this guy, it has a lot of offering, and it has a lot of offering with Docker, but you can use a lot of different things here. So my intention will be that if I go for this guy, is to work with certain versions of the cluster that you're going to be looking for. So today, and if you did so, like to the channel and subscribe to it. I think this is a very cool stuff what we're looking right now. We're going to keep on providing more and more things. So have a good one, enjoy.